What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and this particular video is to discuss Canelo Alvarez and his comments towards Gennady Golovkin. Um, Canelo said that he wants to tear Golovkin's head off. And that's something that you really rarely hear Canelo do. Canelo's one of those type dudes normally. He'll slick cap, meaning he'll say something like real passive. You know what I mean? He's not as aggressive as he is now. And my question is, what brought all this on? You know, this fight should have happened in May. It's going to happen in September. Exactly a year from the time that they fought, which, I've gave my opinions about that. But, Canelo Alvarez has, I guess, this is a good thing because, these guys don't like each other anymore. It's not going to be the first fight. I hope it's not like this first fight. I hope the outcome is in a knockout, because when you have fighters like this, if Canelo knocks out Golovkin, Golovkin passes that torch to Canelo. If Gennady Golovkin knocks out Canelo, then all the shady judges goes away. All that possibility goes away. Right out of the window. So, that's if Golovkin can do that, because Canelo has proven to have a good chin, because he took some pretty good shots from Golovkin, where normal fighters didn't take those punches so well, not so much. They became good boys, right? So I don't know if he can do that. And then Golovkin didn't really work the body like I thought he was going to do. If anything, I would say, Golovkin should straighten up Canelo with that jab, and then, have Canelo worried so much about that jab, then he faints. Then he goes downstairs. You know what I mean? Works the body. Jab him upstairs. Avoid the counters and work the body. And Canelo was real slippery in there. So he tried to get rid of the stigma of calling himself cement feet, like everyone called him. But now this should tell you, like, okay, well, how will you fight Golovkin like you fought Golovkin, saying you want to knock his head off? Obviously, you're going to change your style. The only danger of that is a guy that's coming in so aggressive that's not the hardest puncher. He's not the harder puncher of the two. Okay, going in making a statement. The same thing happened to Kovalev. Remember that when he fought Ward for the second time, and we all know how that fight ended. And it was a good fight up until, Kovalev tried to do too much too fast. Will that happen for Canelo Alvarez? Because if Canelo Alvarez is not careful and he goes in there trying to set up shots, knockout shots, which I think he should really target the body as well. I've already stated that, but I think he should go to the body and set up something downstairs to hurt Golovkin. But if he tries to do too much too fast, he could end up in that particular situation, because we both know, just like Kovalev is not the most conditioned fighter. He has problems with stamina. Canelo has problems with stamina also. Golovkin doesn't. If you've seen Golovkin, he breathes heavy in the ring, but he breathes because he's conditioned. He's rationing himself out. You know what I mean? He's really spacing out his punches, and he's pacing himself well. And that's one thing that Golovkin can do. And you think about the shots that Golovkin threw and he missed. Those take a lot out of you versus a land. If you ever had some boxing gloves on and you throw a punch and you hit nothing but air, but all the force behind that punch and the energy that you use to throw that punch, that takes energy. And it's a mental energy too. It's one of them things, like you think you hit the target, but you really haven't. but you've committed to that punch. That is perfect for counterpunch, first of all. So a lot of people, when they throw a punch with bad intentions, and then they miss that punch, and then they get immediately countered. Okay, when they get immediately countered by another punch, not only that takes energy, and mental energy, but they don't see that punch coming. So a lot of times, if a lot of flash knockdowns occur because of that. And Golovkin threw a lot of those punches, so that showed you that Golovkin is in good shape. He's in great shape. He stays in shape. And if you really do the math, his wife gets sick of him going to training camp, and she wanted him to retire last year after the Canelo fight last year because he didn't spend a lot of time with them. They didn't come over, you know what I mean? So he don't get any quick nookie, you know what I'm saying? He's not doing that. He's focusing on his opponent. In training camp, he's up there in Big Bear. You create a lot of red blood cells, so that makes you a lot stronger when you come down to fight below sea level, where they're above sea level. And, that gives you more energy during the fight. Oscar De La Hoya did it. Sugar Shane Mosley did it. And Gennady Golovkin is, following that tradition. So, Canelo better be careful on what his intentions are, because he knows he's not the one with the most stamina. And then, plus, coming off of a substance that he was popped for, you want to be careful on how your body reacts to that. And because remember, Canelo Alvarez hasn't fought in over a year. That would be exactly a year to the date that he hasn't been in the ring. Golovkin has. He was able to get in there, and it didn't last long, but he did my boy Vanis Martirosyan bad, and took him out. But he was he's been active. So that's a plus for Gennady Golovkin, whereas Canelo Alvarez has not been. So that might play a factor in this too. So we don't know how Canelo Alvarez is going to be, due to the acclimation of his normal natural body without any doubt of any kind of substance. You know what I mean? And then if you've seen pictures of Canelo Alvarez, he looks like he's about 20 years old. He's lost a lot of weight. He's not that same bulky, thick-necked dude that we're used to. You know what I mean? So, but I know this is still early because this is July. July, then August, of course, but he has done a lot of slimming down. It's kind of like night and day with his particular body change. So, but yeah, that is good news because there is built animosity, and I think it's healthy for this fight because people had his controversy over the first fight, and and all the stuff that happened, for the second fight. So this is so basically it's like this. You look at this. This is actually the third fight, okay? But this is just you had one fight in the ring, you had another fight which never met the ring because it was a lot of negotiations back and forth. So you've had many wars inside and outside the ring. Now I look at it as the third time these guys fight. You know what I mean? It's just the second time they physically fought. So, a lot of verbal fighting and verbal attacks and all the animosity and stuff like that. So this looks like it's going to be a fantastic fight, and I would love to see who wins. I just hope Gennady Golovkin has enough juice in the tank to do what he's supposed to do as though he would do it 3 or 4 years ago. That's my only wish because, again, I hate to see a fighter that gets into the ring and then finds out he doesn't have what he had the time before he got in the ring, from the last time. So that's what I don't like to see. I don't like to see blowouts. I like to see competitive fights. You know what I mean? If they're chess matches or boxing matches, brawls, all types. I love them all and I respect them all. But yeah, those are some bold words coming from Alvarez, and it's really unlike him. He's said things, but he's never said nothing this aggressively and this direct. You know what I mean? So, we'll see what these words and how he will carry these words and put these words into action. You guys tell me what you think about Canelo Alvarez's remarks towards Triple G. Triple G, of course, said he was going to knock him out. So, you got two guys coming at each other. And of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.